What is going on, everybody? It is Lay the House, where I'm here. It is currently Wednesday, July 24th, and I'm here sharing my sports betting and daily fantasy picks and plays for Prizepicks, Underdog Fantasy, and Sleeper, and also regular sports bets on Hard Rock and Flip. As always, let's start off the video by recapping my results from yesterday and the results from yesterday by other members in the Lay the House RM Discord server. If you're not in the Discord server yet, it is completely free to join. It's linked in the description below and in the pinned comment below. This is what it looks like when you get in there. There's a bunch of sections on betting education. There's a bunch of sections where you can post all of your big wins. There's a couple sections where I post all of my plays right when I make them for daily fantasy and regular sports betting picks. There's Underdog Challenge of the Week, where you can make some extra cash by winning the challenge in the server. I make these challenges. Try to do it once a week unless they overlap. If nobody wins, I'll let it roll to the next week. But basically, if you win the challenge, you'll win a little bit of extra free cash from me. And then there's a ton of sections on the specific sports too, where you can have conversations and even use some tools to find out the best bet of the day using the OddsShopper bot. I am considering adding a section, you guys can't see this yet, for free cappers, for other respectable cappers who want to post their plays for free, for you guys in the Discord server. So this is still to be determined. I'm still working out the details on who I want to include and who is willing to, join in and help us out. But I'm trying to get as many good picks to you guys as possible other than just my own. So let's head over to the big win section and see who won some money yesterday. So we'll scroll up to the top here. I gave you guys an amazing play on this video yesterday. The Taco Tuesday play, I knew Paul Skeens was going to be discounted. He's always discounted on Taco Tuesday. His line was discounted down to 5.5, right? And I told you guys to combine it with this DJ Hers, less than 4.5 pitcher strikeouts. And then I told you to go to Paul Skeens' regular line of 7.5, put the under on the 7.5, and combine it with the same prop of DJ Hers, less than 4.5 pitcher strikeouts. Well, guess what? You would have won on both sides of that play. You would have won the middle, so it would have been $25 to win $75 on one, $25 to win $75 on the next one, which would be a net $100 profit for you if you tailed that play. You're only going to get that information from me if you're watching these videos all the way through, so I'd appreciate it if you guys watch all the way through, because you will get some really good details like that will help you make a ton of money in the long term. Kiana had a really good day again. This is her second day in a row where she's had some really big picks, with a Jeremy Pena higher to 1.5 hits on RBIs and Blade on a scorcher. So nice job for Kiana. And she also had another one with Jimenez and Rowdy Tellez, and she was giving some advice to some other members in the community on how she came up with those plays. Basically, she said, she's looking for players who don't have a lot of speed and haven't been hitting well, and she takes the under on the runs on these players. And she also said she looks at, just some other stats to see who's hot and who's cold. So you can get some other tidbits for some other people that are making money in the Discord server. Our guy Skull, another big day for us all. $20 into 170 on parlay play. On Sleeper, 11 into 61. And then on Underdog, massive day. $20 in the 90, 50 in the 300, 20 in the 120, and 13 into 130. Awesome day by our guy Skull. And then recapping my sports betting picks yesterday, I went 3-3 on my sports betting plays, but there is a profit of about $134 on those plays. So if you follow my unit structure that I make on my plays, that's how you end up profitable on going an even 3-3 on the day. So solid day all around. I ended up making about $200 profit overall in the day. If you want to see all of my plays posted in real time, Discord server is the best place to be. And like I mentioned before, it is free to join, linked in the bio and linked in the pinned comment below. Alright, so now let's head over to Underdog Fantasy and see what we can come up with for today. See if there's any promos on there. So we're heading into Underdog. Looks like the only promos still there are, the Jokic and LeBron that we'll use later. And then we have some football ones that are honestly going to sit there with me for weeks. So we'll touch on those later on. I actually haven't placed any bets or any plays for myself just yet today. This is actually my first look that I'm doing with you guys. So you'll be able to get an insight on my entire research process on how I come up with these plays. The first place I go every single day is OddsShopper.com. They do have an Underdog Fantasy, Prizepicks, Sleeper, and Entry Builder where it shows you the best plays on the board. If you want to sign up for OddsShopper Premium, the price is $14.95 per week if you want to give it a shot. Or if you want to go all in from the start, $49.95 a month. This is significantly cheaper, and I mean significantly cheaper than using OddsJam or Daily Grind Fantasy. This is why I'm really pushing OddsShopper. It's honestly the best value you're going to find out there for these tools. And if you want 10% off on your first month in the subscription, sign up using code LayTheHouseRM and they'll give you 10% off your first subscription. So if you're doing the monthly premium of $50 a month, you'll only end up paying $45 for your first month, or you could save $1.50 on the week. But honestly, I would give the month a shot. $50 is nothing for the amount of money that these tools will make you. So first, let's head over to the Underdog Fantasy Entry Builder and see what best values in the board there are right now. So looks like there's a bunch of day games in MLB today, a bunch of earlier games. So hopefully we can get some good plays in the early games, and so we can have sweats the entire day. George Springer and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. both have really good value on your total bases under. I would pick and choose. I wouldn't use them both in the same slip because it will knock the value down. It will knock the payout down if you stack them together. So I would choose one or the other. Neither is a bad play, so I'm just going to start at the top using the George Springer under 1.5 total bases. Next, Wilyer Abreu in Coors Field for the Red Sox. Another good value on the bases. I love the unders on the total bases props. There's always some really good value on those. And then we could go with Yoshida, but like I said before, you don't want to have more than one hitter from each team. So we'll go down to Justin Steele, under 5.5 total strikeouts. That's going to be a play. I'm 100% going to make this play at Underdog Fantasy. A 6x payout, 6% expected EV, and a 17% expected win. Those are some really good numbers. That's a lot of value on this play. So, and honestly, if you wanted to make this play a bunch of different times, just use the different players. Use Springer. Instead of using Springer, use Vladimir Guerrero, and you get the same entry payout. You lose a little bit of EV once you take Springer off, but it's still really good value for you guys. You can combine these any way possible. And if you don't want to use Steele on the strikeouts, you could go down to Wilson Contreras under on the bases. Tyler O'Neill under on the RBIs is okay. It's not like amazing by any means. But if you want to go with the optimal here, it's going to probably pull in same players from same teams because the tools don't do a good job at recognizing who's on what team and docking the payout for that. So you see here, I would take out the Vlad, Yoshida, and Hamilton. Then I'm ended up just where I was before. So if you want to do a long shot play in Underdog Fantasy, maybe go with Springer, Abreu, and then Steele, Contreras, and then Yastrzemski, right? Your expected EV is going to be 4%, which is solid, but it's a 20x payout long shot. And then I think if you want to do a 4-man insured or even a 5-man insured, you're going to get a lot of value in this play. So if you want to do a 5-pick flex play, I would take these 5 plays. Go with the Springer on the bases, Abreu and Steele, Contreras, and Yastrzemski. And that is a pretty solid 5-pick insured play for the people who like to do the flex plays over the all-ins. I prefer the all-ins simply because there's a little bit more value in them, but there's really good value in this 5-pick insured play. And even if you want to drop it down to 4, dropping it down to 4, you don't lose much value too. So, ton of value on the board for Underdog Fantasy here today. If you want to look at some other sports on Underdog Fantasy besides baseball right now, like some esports, maybe some tennis, there's no more NBA Summer League, but if you want to give Daily Grind Fantasy a shot, it is another paid subscription website, significantly more expensive than OddsJam, but they do have a good tool and they do have a little bit more options with esports and things like that. So there are some pretty good esports plays, and they also compare fantasy scores, which you won't get on OddsJam because OddsJam is basically matching the true lines on the major sports books, whereas Daily Grind Fantasy and OddsJam they'll do the calculated lines of the fantasy scores. So if you want to give a shot on fantasy scores and some esports and like some other one-off sports like occasionally tennis and some soccer, Daily Grind Fantasy is probably the way to go for you. And this tool, I have a really good video on how to use this tool that I posted a couple months ago. Be sure to check that one out. It is linked in the description below as well. Or if you just want to head to my channel, it is telling you guys, it's the guide on how I made over $5,000 in 1 month betting on sports. That is where I explain how to use Daily Grind Fantasy and OddsJam and these other tools. This is before I found OddsJam. OddsJam now trumps all those, but there is still money to be made on Daily Grind Fantasy as well. Code LayTheHouseRM will give you 25% off your initial month in Daily Grind Fantasy. So if you want to give that a shot, there's a discount code for you. I like it, but I prefer OddsJam simply because it's cheaper. Next, we'll head over to Prizepicks. I had a really good win on Prizepicks with their Taco Tuesday yesterday. We'll see here back over to the big wins on the Discord server. I had that Skeens and Hers play where we even had the middle if you followed my advice here on my video. So, best plays in Prizepicks, very similar. You got the Vladimir Guerrero, Yoshida, Goldschmidt, Hamilton, and Palacios. So we got some other names here, which are kind of nice to see on Prizepicks. Prizepicks is pretty tough to find value on if you live in the state of Florida. You see a 2-pick power play, never going to be good EV. A 3-pick power play, never good. 4-pick, a little bit better, but still not very good. So if you live in the state of Florida, honestly, I wouldn't be playing Prizepicks too much outside of the promos. I try to take some long shots here and there on Prizepicks. They did just add some other payout options with flex plays with 5 and 6, but they're very different than these traditional flex plays that you'll find on these tools. It's so new that these tools and optimizers haven't accounted for the new way that Florida's going to be doing it for you guys. Hopefully they will in the long term, but if you don't live in the state of Florida and you can still do Prizepicks flex plays, there 5 picks on the flex play is the way to go, and there is so much value on the board for you if you do that. If you want to get some Prizepicks plays here, Vlad Jr. under on the bases, Yoshida under on bases, Goldschmidt under on the runs, David Hamilton also under on the bases. I wouldn't combine it with Yoshida. Richie Palacios under on the runs, and then we go down to Tanner Beebe under on the strikeouts, all in positive EV values, so you can get some really good plays on Prizepicks if you don't live in the state of Florida. All right, and last but not least, we're going to head over to Sleeper, and we're going to touch on that really quick, but I've been making a ton of money on Sleeper using these tools. There's only two really good values on Sleeper right now. Matt Waldron under 4.5 strikeouts, and Yariel Rodriguez under 14.5 pitching outs. Honestly, I think you can combine them together. You can. 3.7x payout, 6x plus EV. That is definitely a play I'm making on Sleeper. These two plays, a 2-pick entry. The Rodriguez is going to be a little bit tougher to win. You know, it only has a 42% expected win percentage with odds of plus 143. But there is really good value on this play. There is basically 6 cents on the dollar of a discount on Sleeper as compared to the other sports books. So really good play on Sleeper is just this 2-pick entry. Probably not much else I want to do over there. You know, you could add more plays on there, and it won't kill your EV too much. So any of these plays are solid, but these top two, they're so good. I would just play them in a 2-man. The Witt under on the bases, Cruz bases, Duran RBIs, Vlad bases, Eflin strikeouts. These are all solid plays. You know, 2% or less on Sleepers, okay, because their payouts are really nice to you. So some good plays on Sleeper. Next, we're going to head over to Hard Rock and flip and go to the market-based EV bets tool over on OddsShopper to see if there's any good bets standing out to us on Hard Rock for us. And it looks like there's only a couple. You know, O'Neill, Cruz, Deli Cruz, Duran, and Ernie Clement. You know, a lot of overlap here. These lines, this Tyler O'Neill is a pretty good line on Hard Rock. Most of you are probably limited on Hard Rock props like I am, but these are the 4 plays I would make on the Hard Rock Sportsbook. And then one other thing I want to do is I want to go to the best bets tool on the MLB tab in the Discord server. So if you do /best bet, and then you click enter, and then you choose your sport. When it loads, choose MLB here. The best bet on the board in the MLB for all the major sports books right now is Ellie De La Cruz, under 1.5 total bases. If you have it on Caesars, that's the place to do it. But on Hard Rock, on Fliff, on any of the other major sports books, if the line is around minus 142 or so, you're getting really good value on the Ellie De La Cruz line, and that is why it is the top value today. I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end of the video. If you have, hopefully we can make some good money today like we did yesterday. I'll be posting a ton of plays in the Discord for Underdog Fantasy. Probably not Prizepicks today, but I will have a couple plays on Sleeper and my regular sports bets as well. It is a split slate, so there are day games and there are night games. A ton of money to be made today. I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end. Remember, subscribe to the video, drop a like, and best of luck on your plays today, everyone.